It's me, Sasha Denbright, and welcome to episode 8 of the 2024 season of You Call It Targeting. My gosh, we got so much trash to talk about. So many trash teams on my list. But I'm here with my co-host, Mike Roch Burns. Earl Maynard is on location in Eugene, Oregon at Max's Tavern. I guess it's a local bar. He's probably getting hammered. Anyways, Ohio State at Oregon is the game of the week. Number 2 versus number 3. What an exciting week we have of college football coming up. But let's recap this past week, starting with Syracuse at UNLV. Me and Earl picked UNLV, and Mike picked Syracuse. Well, guess what? Syracuse wins 44-41 in overtime. Then Michigan at Washington. I was the only one to pick Washington because I absolutely have sense. Alright, I'm actually a smart guy because I know Michigan is nothing but pure nipples. And they lost 27-17 like the absolute trash that they are. Next game, Ole Miss at South Carolina. Me and Mike picked Ole Miss to win big. Earl went with South Carolina like a pure dumpage moron. And South Carolina loses 27-3. And then we got Navy at Air Force. We all picked Navy. And Navy handled their absolute business 34-7. And then in the game of the week, we have Missouri at Texas A&M. I said Missouri would go in and whip tits by at least 17 points. Well, that didn't happen because Texas A&M won 41-10. And Mike and Earl picked that. In the NFL game, it was Dallas at Pittsburgh. Me and Earl picked the Steelers. And Mike picked the Cowboys. Well, the Cowboys win 20-17. And none of us got the NASCAR pick right. And we'll go into that more later with a special post-race. We did a post-race. What do you call it? Post-race little thing of a jig. Yeah, that's what you call it. A post-race thing of a jig. After Talladega Super Speedway. We recorded it live there. And so, yeah, when we do our NASCAR segment, we'll go and we'll play that clip for you. How about that? Sounds exciting. But anyways, that's it for the recap. Let's get on to points. So for this week, throw that paper out of here. And let's look at this new paper. Anyways, I'm still in the lead with 21 points. But man, Mike gained on me with 20 points, and Earl, nothing but pure trash. He's sitting with 15 points. My gosh, he's nothing but an idiot. But anyways, let's go on, and I guess let's give away some garbage awards. Starting with my team of the week, I would be an absolute idiot to not give it to the Vanderbilt Commodores. My gosh, one of the biggest upsets I've ever seen in college football. I can tell you this. This would not have happened with Nick Saban as coach. I don't care. There's a good burp. Still tastes terrible. Anyways, this wouldn't have happened with Nick Saban. There's no way this would have happened with Nick Saban. I don't know if this is a sign of the times and this coach that they hired. Is he going to be crap? Because, I know he got Washington to a national championship appearance. And I know they just beat Georgia, but man, this was the problem. This is what I talked about. Can he sustain the success? I talked about it in the first episode of this season. And man, you talk about letting your fans down. You lose to Vandy, the red-headed stepchild of the SEC. Absolutely embarrassing loss for Alabama. But, yeah, team of the week goes to Vanderbilt. So congratulations on the big win there, Vandy. But now we got a huge list of nothing but pure trash teams. And let's get into that. Starting with Air Force. I mentioned the score earlier. They lost 34-7 against Navy, and they're sitting at 1-4. While Navy and Army are sitting undefeated, Air Force is nothing but pure trash. Next trash team, number 9 Missouri. They were in our game of the week and got their nipples blown off by Texas A&M, 41-10. Not even close. Absolutely embarrassing to say that you were a top 10 team. We kind of had some questions. I mean, they went to they had to go to overtime to beat Vandy, and they just kind of, I don't know, they haven't looked that impressive. And then, man, they played a pretty good team on the road and got just destroyed. What a trash team. Next trash team, Iowa. I mean, my goodness, we needed you to raise more money for the kids, and I forgot to mention that in the recap. But, yeah, they didn't raise money for the kids because they got their absolute tits blown back by the Ohio State, what are they called? Buckeyes. Psh, garbage. I can't believe I forgot that. Anyways, 35-7, just an absolute knockdown drag out of a trash game. That made no sense what I just said, but we'll move on and live with it. Next trash team, UNLV. My goodness, they squeak into the top 25 by a nipple hair, go and play Syracuse, and they lose 44-41 in overtime. And what makes it worse is that Mike actually picked that game right. What a nothing but pure trash Mike is. Next trash team, USC loses to Minnesota. Garbage. 24-17. USC's nothing but pure trash. Next trash team, and I've been trashing on them all year. They were number 10. Michigan loses to Washington 27-17. Michigan has not found their identity. Their new coach sucks nipples. Their whole offense sucks. Their defense isn't nowhere near as good as it was last year. They're just a shell of themselves. Nothing but pure garbage. Next trash team, the Tennessee Volunteers, losing to Arkansas. My gosh, here's another team like we were talking about Ole Miss. They were just gonna walk into the playoff. We were just gonna hand it to them. Tennessee absolutely lays a droppage in Arkansas and loses 19-14. Arkansas's nothing but pure trash. Their coach just looks like he won a barbecue competition. He don't even look like a football coach, and he went out there and beat them. Nothing but pure garbage. But speaking of the purest garbage, it's time for my absolute trash team of the week. My absolute trash team of the week goes to the Alabama Crimson Tide because you just lost to the trash Vanderbilt Commodores. My gosh. I mean, anybody in the SEC that loses to Vandy, it's a sad day. Because you're like, my gosh, we just lost to Vanderbilt. Look, I know Florida fans are used to it. They're used to getting beat, their nipples blown off by Vanderbilt. I get it. But there's not a whole lot of people in the SEC that's used to losing to Vandy. And so when you lose to Vandy, it is nothing but pure trash. And Alabama, the number one team in the nation, loses to that pure trash team and that pure trash program. My gosh. I mean, this new coach, garbage. The defense, garbage. The guy kicking the football at the end of the game, garbage. My gosh. I mean, just nothing but pure nipples. I mean, Alabama. How do you go from the highest of highs and you beat Georgia to the absolute lowest of lows and you lose to a high school team in your conference? Nothing but pure garbage. I can't believe Alabama is my absolute trash team of the week this week. Oh my gosh. I would be embarrassed to be an Alabama fan. Garbage. Anyways, that's my awards, and I guess let's get to questions. First question is from Franny Fart. She asked us a question last week. And she says, hi, Sasha and the gang. It was great seeing you guys at Talladega Super Speedway this past weekend. I'm glad I got to have that drink with Earl. We had a really nice time, and I thought he really liked me. But then later on, I seen him taking vodka shots from two girls' belly buttons, and they were dressed so inappropriately. I was crushed. P.S. Indiana will still win the national championship. Much love, Franny Farts. Yeah, it was great seeing you, Franny. We had a great time hanging out. We just really appreciate you being such a big fan of our show, and we're glad that you got to hang out with Earl, and I'm sorry that he did that to you. Earl is nothing but pure garbage, and you could really do better than Earl. And I hate to break it to you, though, Indiana will not win the national championship. They're going to lose. I'm sorry. It's just going to happen. So I hate for Earl to crush your dreams and for me to crush your dreams, but at least I'm just crushing your dreams about a football game. Earl's playing with your heart, and he's nothing but pure trash. Earl, what do you have to say for yourself?
Did you not see the women? My goodness, they were 9.8s, and Franny she's about a 6. And yeah, she was nice, and sure, we had a drink, blah, blah, blah. I'll have a drink with about anybody. I don't know where she's catching all these feelings, but I'm having a good time just being Earl and living it up. And yeah, I'm not ready to settle down with anybody. So sorry if that hurts your feelings. Well, I really don't care. I had a good time, and if you had a good time or not, I don't really care.
My gosh, Earl, you're nothing but garbage, and you should be completely ashamed of yourself. Anyways, let's move on to the next question before I get even more ticked at Earl. This question is from Sweaty Goob, and it says, question is for Mike. Of course it is. It says, if you were on Tinder and you came across a baddie that looked like Sasha a little bit, would you swipe left or swipe right? Also, does Vandy carry this momentum over and actually become dangerous, or was Alabama their peak?
Well, I appreciate the question. First off, I'm not ever going to be on Tinder, or, I don't do any of that stuff. I'm happily married. But if anybody looked like Sasha, that's a hard pass for me.
They're watching.
And does Vandy carry that momentum and become dangerous? No, they don't. It's an upset. We all know that Vandy, we all know what talent they have. We all know what talent Alabama has. It was a perfect storm. They got the pick six early. They got a little bit of confidence. Alabama didn't come prepared to play, definitely on the defensive side of the ball. And Vandy just had perfect play calling. Their quarterback played just the game of his career. But they could easily go out the next week and get beat by somebody that's not very good. I don't think just because they beat Alabama, they're going to win out now and be making a run for the SEC or anything crazy. They got a very tough schedule, and yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to carry this momentum on, but I appreciate your question.
What a garbage question. Moving on to the next garbage question is from Grandma's Got a Booty on Her. It says, Sasha, I'm old, but I hear things. I heard there are some old videos somewhere out there of you and your handsome stepson, Tig Taylor, duking it out for a wrestling championship belt. Last I heard, Tig Taylor was the reigning AHW champion. Also, Notre Dame sucks absolute nipples. Well, guess what? You suck nipples, and probably you hadn't seen your nipples in years because they're probably dangling down by your kneecaps. What a garbage grandma, and I doubt you got a booty on you. Garbage. And yeah, there is some videos out there of my trash stepson thinking he was all that, all hardcore wrestling. Yeah, he got paper stapled to his arm, and he got thrown through cardboard tables lit on fire. Nothing but garbage. All I remember is him losing the belt. Just about every time he would win it, he would lose it like the next day to Frico, because Frico was the actual good wrestler who rivaled Hall of Famers. If you take Triple H, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, and Ric Flair and put them all into one wrestler, it was Frico. He could do it all. His double arm DDT and his leg drop, pure angelic wrestling moves that I've never seen from anybody else. My trash stepson couldn't do anything. He was nothing but pure garbage. He would just do flips off the trampoline and land on his back on the ground like an absolute tit-sucking moron. My gosh, he's nothing but garbage. And AHW was nothing but garbage. Never took off. They didn't have one person watch besides my stepson's sister who would record them on her camera. They were nothing but pure trash. But anyways, thanks for your pure trash question. Next question is from Long John Larry's Meat Market. It says, I can't believe Bama lost that game to Vandy. What do you think about Malachi Moore's outburst at the end of the game? He refused to come out of the game. I don't think Saban would have allowed that. Psh, what an absolute disgrace. Hashtag Earl for president. Psh, who wants Earl for president? Well, I guess he can't do much worse than what we have. But, yeah, Bama losing that game, we kind of touched on it. I'm going to be real curious to see how this coach can pull this team together. And Malachi Moore is nothing but pure trash. You do not act that way after losing a game. So what? You got your nipples blown off by Vandy. Just take it like a man and go out there and have a little pride. But kicking a football around and throwing your whatever he threw across the field and kicking the ground, absolute just a titty baby on the field. I guarantee you he wouldn't be playing the next few games if I was coach. Nothing but garbage. I think it looks bad for Alabama football, and this coach better pull this team together, or fans are going to lose their absolute mind. Because, I mean, we all knew he wasn't going to be a Nick Saban. But, man, they're falling apart at the seams now. Anyways, that's it for questions. It's time to get on to NASCAR. And, yeah, we're going to play the clip of us live post-race after Talladega, and we're going to give our picks for next week. So enjoy, and we got a new little sound going into our NASCAR segment that I recorded myself on my phone of the cars absolutely flying by. So, hope you enjoy it. We are here live post-race here at Talladega Superspeedway, and my gosh, what a trash ending to a race. Having Ricky Stenhouse Jr. win this race. You talk about deflating the crowd. My gosh, there wasn't one person cheering for Ricky Stenhouse Garbage Jr. to win this race. But hey, I guess he won it fair and square, but he's pretty much pure trash.
Sasha, it's hard to say he's pure trash when he just won the race.
I'll say what I want to, dadgummit. Anyways, Earl, what did you think about the race?
Well, I didn't watch much of it, to tell you the truth. I was just, partying it up and met some great women and, but yeah, what I watched of it, it was pretty great. Great four-wide racing there in the first stage, something I've never really seen before. And it was exciting, and it's always a great experience coming out here, and I'm looking forward to the spring of next year.
Yeah, I am too, Earl. But yeah, let's talk about our drivers. I picked Ryan Blaney to win. He was running up front. Got wrecked by Alex Bowman. What a nothing but pure trash move on Alex Bowman. I guess he don't know where the brake pedal's at in his car, because he absolutely just ran through the back of Ryan Blaney there at the end of stage 2. Nothing but a garbage move. And so, yeah, it wrecked Blaney out. How did your driver do, Mike?
Well, I called it last week. I said Michael McDowell was going to either win the pole or be on front row, and he won the pole. He started out this race in first place, and he led a lot of laps in that first stage. He was looking real good, and then, I don't know, something about he got back, shuffled into the crowd, and the second and third stage, he just wasn't much of a factor, and then he got caught up in the big wreck that happened with 4 laps to go.
Yeah, absolute huge wreck here with 4 laps to go. 28 cars involved in the crash. It was absolutely insane, which the big crash helped my driver, Ryan Blaney, a little bit better in the point standings now because of all those other guys that crashed. But, Earl, how did your driver do?
Well, I picked Joey Logano, and he got caught up in that big mess of a wreck with 4 laps to go, and so he didn't finish very well either. So all 3 of our drivers got wrecked out at some point, and so maybe we'll have a little bit better luck picking this next week, which we are at the Charlotte Roval, and this is another elimination race. 4 more drivers are out of the playoff after this next race in Charlotte. And anyways, I'm going to pick William Byron. He has just been on fire lately. He finished 3rd at Talladega here, I'm pretty sure. He's just done so well. He's got so much momentum on his side, and he's been known to win some road courses before. I'm going to pick William Byron.
I'm going to pick his teammate, Kyle Larson. He's coming off of a great finish here at Talladega, and he's not even normally good at these style tracks. And he's one of those guys that any week he can dominate a race, and He's been running well, and I think he might get the job done in Charlotte.
I'm going to go with a road course specialist. I'm going with Shane Van Gisbergen, and this guy can, anytime it's a road course, I think he has the chance to win, and so I feel like he's a pretty safe pick for me. So let's go SVG.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this little live snippet here from Talladega Superspeedway. We can't wait to come back here in the spring, and we're going to get back to the regular podcast. All right, hope you enjoyed that live post-race show we did at Talladega Superspeedway. We had a great time. But Mike, what is our NFL pick for this week?
We're going to go with the Colts versus the Titans. Both of these teams hadn't been very good this year, but the Colts have kind of been doing some things, changing quarterbacks around. The Titans kind of been hit or miss, but Vegas has this game as like a 1.5-point favorite for the Colts, and so I think it's going to be a close game. It's at Tennessee, but I'm going to go with the Colts. I think what they're finding out on their offense, I think they're going to get the job done. I think the Titans hadn't really looked that great, so I'm going with Indianapolis.
Well, I actually agree with you, Mike. I like what I see from the Colts, and I think the Titans are nothing but pure garbage.
Sasha, I might be dumb, but I'm not stupid. I got one word for you: Tennessee Titans. They are going to win this game. The Colts are terrible, man. They look about as bad as a three-legged cockroach. They hadn't done anything good this year. I think Tennessee Titan fans, they're in Las Vegas, baby. I think they are going to be ready to fire up their team and get this win.
All right, Earl, it is time for college football picks. All right, Earl is live at Max's Tavern in Eugene, Oregon. We're excited for that game. What a game. Number 2, Ohio State at number 3, Oregon. But let's get on with our picks. Cal at Pittsburgh. Cal sucks nipples. I hate the state. I hate the team. They're at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's ranked. Give me Pittsburgh.
I'm going to take Cal on the road. I think Pittsburgh comes in a little overconfident with them being in the top 25, and I think Cal gets the job done.
California as a state is nothing but pure garbage. I mean, everybody's driving their Toyota Priuses, and look at us saving the environment, and we don't even have gas-powered lawnmowers, and it's illegal to do that, but we can smoke some dope and have homeless people and all this stuff. California is a waste of a state here in this beautiful United States. I wish the whole state would float off into the Pacific Ocean. Garbage state. So I'll pick Pittsburgh.
All right, next game is number 4, Penn State at USC. I got to go with Penn State. I mean, USC just lost to Minnesota like nothing but pure trash. And Penn State's been sneaky good all year, so I'm going with the Nittany Lions.
I'm going to agree with you again, Sasha. I'm going with Penn State.
Well, I know I just went on this whole rant talking about the state of California and how much they suck, and they really do suck. But I feel like an upset brewing here. I think USC is going to beat Penn State.
That might be the worst pick all year. Absolute garbage pick from you, Earl. Anyways, next game, number 1 Texas it's a neutral site, versus their rival, Oklahoma. They're ranked 18th. I don't care where Oklahoma's ranked. I don't care if they were number 2 or if they're number 3,000. Oklahoma sucks nipples. And so Texas is going to win this game by 3 touchdowns.
I think it'll be a little closer than 3 touchdowns, Sasha, but it's a rival game. I think Oklahoma's going to, they're going to come to play, but I don't think they stand a chance to beat Texas.
Now, Texas is a state I want to live in. I mean, you got rodeos and cowboy boots and cowgirls, and you got all that good stuff. Texas is a great state, and man, I would love a good big old plate of Texas barbecue right now. But Oklahoma, they have showed that they don't belong in the SEC, and they can't hang with these teams, and Texas is on a different level. I think Oklahoma, I think they're going to want to quit at halftime. I think it's going to be that bad. Longhorns all the way.
right, next game is number 9 Ole Miss at number 13 LSU. I think Ole Miss, after that loss, I think they have pulled it together. I think they got a little bit more talent than LSU, and we all know Brian Kelly can't win the big games. So I think Ole Miss goes on the road and beats LSU.
I agree. Brian Kelly, he does struggle in big games, but man, LSU in a night game at home, I just think this is going to be a great game. And I'm going to pick LSU in a close one.
Ole Miss reminds me of a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, good-looking senior quarterback at his senior prom at his school, and he's got this beautiful girl on his arm, and everybody thinks, oh, man, he's so cool when he comes in, and he has, he sneaks in some drinks, and he spikes the punch, and everybody's, oh, man, this guy's so cool, and then he drinks a bunch of the punch, and he's having a good time, and he's hitting the dance floor, and he's cutting the rug, and just everybody's just drooling over the guy, and then there's women just jealous of his girlfriend Sandy, and she's just having she's like, man, this is gonna be the husband to my kids, and take that, Tammy, you can't get a man like I can. And then he dies in a fiery car crash on the way home from drinking and driving. That's Ole Miss in this game. They're going to come in just too confident. They can't handle it, and LSU's going to beat them.
My gosh, Earl! I mean, you just had to get all dark there. I don't even know where your mind goes in these times. Anyways, let's get to the game of the week. It's number 2 Ohio State at Oregon. And I hate to break it to you, Oregon fans, but my gosh, y'all ain't going to beat Ohio State. No chance in absolute heck y'all are going to beat Ohio State. I mean, the Buckeyes are going to roll all over you. I don't even think this game is close. I don't even think we will be sitting here and be like, oh, that was a good game of the week. I think it's going to be a blowout. Ohio State wins pretty easily.
I don't think it'll be easy, but yeah, I do agree. Ohio State, I think, has just got more talent. Oregon really hasn't been tested. They struggled against Boise State earlier in the year. I don't know. Oregon just hasn't impressed me. They haven't just been super great, and this is a big test for them. I don't think they can handle Ohio State.
I don't think I can handle your mom, Mike. Oh, that was a good one. But yeah, this game, I'm going to go with Oregon to win this game. I think this game's going to be a lot like if I saw a naked picture of Betty White. I wouldn't be really impressed, but it'd be hard to look away. I think that's where I'm going to be at in this game. I think both teams have something to prove, and we'll see how. I think the winner of this game has a great chance to win the conference and be one of those top 4 teams that get the bye at the end of the year.
Anyways, thank you for listening to the podcast this week. We hope you enjoyed it, and can't wait for the next episode, so we'll see you next week.